Hello, hello. Today we are starting out on Visenya. Goal is to do Detonation round 35 today. Don't know if we'll get to that, but we're gonna try. So what we're gonna do is just start out with a switcheroo, and then we'll have to go make the bombs, and we're gonna have to go transfer everything over. So we gotta do all of the work for the detonation round. I haven't had time to do any ahead of time. Yeah, I've been gathering resources, but I haven't had time to actually prep the detonation round ahead of time. So, you guys will forgive me, but give us a chance to hang out a bit. Alright, and oh, hi Fish Dude. Sorry you're having an ad. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I mean, I guess I could like run a mid-roll ad, and then that would get rid of pre-roll ads for a little bit. I don't want to do that. I don't like running ads intentionally. Hello, how are you doing? Sorry about the ads, man. There's nothing I can do, really. The only ad-free viewing I can offer is to subscribers. You're not doing so good? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. What's going on? Hey. Just doing the replacement first thing, since I want to just make sure to get everybody going. First, sitting next to your ex in school. Okay, hold on. What level of school are you talking about? Are you talking about college level school, or are you talking like high school, middle school? What are we talking here? Second, everything hurts. Goodness. Bit dramatic. I think. High school. Okay. So. Not really sure how, that's a good mentally. Sorry to hear that. No! Gosh darn it. There we go. Fourth, family problems. Well, sorry to hear that, bro. I mean, sitting next to your ex does not honestly sound too terrible, because you're there for the class, she's there for the class, and you don't have to pay attention to each other. And yoink. How am I? I'm doing okay. Holding up there. Got some busy stuff going on tomorrow. Hence the stream today. And I was disappointed I wasn't able to make the stream yesterday. But we are. Yeah, I don't have a ton of problems to complain about. I mean, I could complain about a couple things, but I don't really do that a whole lot. And yoink. And that's the last one to switch out. Alright, and let's just double check that we're using the correct amount of power. Should be 96 power left. There is 96 power left, so we are all good to go. And we're just gonna freeze for a second, and we should be good to head off to Novus. So we're not going to bring anything over initially. We're just gonna make the bombs and then we'll worry about things. Okay. Novus. Here we come. You're off to sleep? Oh well, okay. Thanks a bunch for popping in, my dude. And I'm gonna have to go around. I hope things with your family get better. Problems can be thorny. And yeah, we're just gonna have a chill time today. Let's see. I did a bunch of cleanup from the Novus project before, so should be mostly good. Need to get the bomb started printing and everything, so we're gonna get you guys going and then get you guys going. Lastly, we're gonna get you guys going. Okay. Got the printers all started. And we're still meeting power demands, which is awesome. Those printers take the least amount of time. These printers take the most. But we only need to start off with 2. We need a total of 8. I have to keep a careful eye on those, because if I don't keep a careful eye on those, then things just get out of hand. Also, I've come up with a new canister of explosive powder in the meantime. I'm gonna pop that on a platform with a printer, and I think we'll use that to handle most of our dynamite needs. As our dynamite needs are currently being satisfied with this canister, but I want to dedicate a canister to, well, you know, to dealing with the small bits of terrain, because dynamite can stick anywhere, and I'm kind of sick of just having this dynamite flying around my base. I like to just take one and then be done. So yeah. Oh, we're still waiting on this first thing to print. It's just taking a while. We're still maxed out on power. Like, yeah, we're pretty much maxed out on power. Yeah, pretty much maxed out on power, and we should be all good to go. I've got some nice ice water here. Stuff. You know, this music is probably a little bit quiet. Bring it up just a tiny bit. I'm gonna turn it up in my ears just a hair or two. Where's my sound mixer? Oh, come on, where's my sound mixer? Where's my mixer? There we go. Oh, I thought that was me glitching out or something, but no, it's just something in the music. Alright, cool. I'm back. Then we need you. And then we just need to put these silos on this big silo. That'll be it. Stop it. We got a lot of unpacking ahead of us. And yoink, right here. There we go. That's silo 1 of bajillion done. And yoink, there we go. I like this beat. This is a nice beat. Good beat. Yeah, probably gonna be a pretty quiet stream today. Other than the booms that we're gonna have later. See how things go today, and James tunes in. I have adjusted and rebalanced the word ban so that way things actually work out for him. But in the meantime, we're just gonna be placing and unpacking these things, and if you guys want to say hi in chat, feel free to. And I hope you all are enjoying yourselves today. Not really a whole lot going through my head recently. I have been thinking a bit about Astroneer and how the balance of the game is affected, because I do get it that Joe kind of agrees with some of the things that we community members have to say, like, game needs difficulty, this game needs challenge, and their response is always, we want to make it more accessible to people who may not necessarily be able to handle a challenge, which I get, but you can never get rid of somebody. Okay, how many platforms is that? Okay, that's 4. Working on 5 and 6. But you can never discount part of your audience to please another part. Can't please everyone, but at the same time you need to make a good faith effort to at least make a product that will please the majority. And that's just how game development works, and I'm sure they know that. They have been trying to include people who may not be into something like that, and Astroneer does indeed have a much more chill vibe. But at the same time, I think something that needs to be taken into consideration is that a substantial portion of the audience feels like the game is no longer challenging, no longer has any difficulty, and no longer has much value to offer as far as replayability. So my arguments for that would be that this, and I come out on the side that this game does not have any difficulty. It's not a hard game. There are very hard games out there. This is not one of them. If you want to find a hard game, don't go looking for this one, because this is not a hard game. However, sorry, just had to sneeze a little bit. However, this game could benefit from, hello, at 6, so I'm gonna take you guys back, so that way you don't print anymore. And yes, both printers are indeed running. Anyway, so, I don't think that it means that you have to, let's say, I don't think that it means that you have to give up. You don't have to give up that accessibility and while making it in order to please the section of your audience that wants the game to be more difficult. Now, granted, the tools that you've given Astroneers recently are extremely powerful, but there's essentially no reason to use them. So, here's the thing. I think that something like difficulty sliders would be an excellent compromise that would allow both sides of the community to be satisfied. You could make difficulty sliders from like how much like wind and power multipliers, and in order to fix the whole, we want it to also be simple, just make it with a couple of presets for easy or normal, and have this be normal, and then you can have something slightly easier for maybe somebody who's disabled or something. I don't know. Maybe have something easier, and then have something a little bit harder, and then have something pretty darn hard. And then, most importantly, allow people to have to change their difficulty once the save has started, because once you have a bunch of people in the community who have pre-existing saves, and you don't want them to have to restart every single time they want to change their difficulty. Similar to Minecraft. Then you can have an advanced options button, or a give me more options button, and then you can let like a custom difficulty button. Then you can really let some of the users who want to get down into the nitty-gritty details. Now, this is kind of how Kerbal Space Program handles it, and that model that Kerbal Space Program uses, I think you guys should definitely check out. Because again, they have that couple of presets that you can use if you want to, and then they also have a lot of, not like a ton, but a lot of difficulty sliders that you can unpack in a separate menu if you want to. They are not there to confuse your average player, but they are there for players who do want to adjust those types of things. And so the elite section of the community grows, whereas with Astroneer, the elite section of the community gets bored and moves on. In Kerbal Space Program, the elite section of the community makes harder and harder challenges for themselves, and does things that that even the devs could never dream of. So I think that's my best answer to the whole dilemma. Now, this does take a lot to implement, which is why I understand that you haven't implemented it. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what part of the audience am I trying to please? Am I just trying to please the people who want it hard? Am I just trying to please the people who want it easy? Or am I trying to get a fair middle ground where both parties can be made happy? I firmly believe that, just in general, you should try to seek to please the most people possible, but understand that you're never going to please everyone. Now, if you want things, you want to have, let's say, if you want to have difficulty sliders that if you don't know what difficulty sliders you could add, that would be an excellent thing to ask the community and see, hey, if we were to add difficulty sliders to this game, what difficulty sliders would you add? And you'll get some great ideas, and you'll get some terrible ideas. But in general, the ones that are most popular with the community are the ones that you'll want to add. Not all of them are going to be super hard either. Like, Resource multipliers, very simple to implement. You already implemented a resource multiplier with the auto extractor. Things like resource multipliers, things like damage multipliers, just very basic things like that. Resource multipliers, damage multipliers. You could start with like speed multipliers and just like automation speed multipliers, just things that can be configured to make certain aspects of the experience easier and certain aspects harder. Because there are in fact certain aspects of this game that are too hard right now and that are not well fleshed out. But there are certain aspects that are not hard enough, and that definitely needs to be taken into account. Yeah, we're just gonna keep plugging here. We should have all of our platforms ready. I don't want to do too much that will disturb this printer pile, because the printer pile is awesome. And we'll take that one. And we're gonna take all of these. Taking the outliers because the outliers the easiest to pick off, and they don't go into those big stacks that make things so easy for eat. Come on, unpack. There we go. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that the, I honestly, I don't have any qualms about realizing the devs are probably not listening to my stream. They probably don't really care a whole ton what one tiny streamer thinks. I fully recognize that and I understand. But I'm just trying to share my perspective, and hopefully maybe somebody will pick it up and understand. Just trying to make my best contribution possible to the community. And yoink. Alright, they're done printing. That's good. Got quite a few tall stacks, so there we go. Gotta unpack all these. And there we go. And we're just gonna line these up. And Dixper is on today. I'm sure that people will be tuning in and using it when I'm going to do my detonation rounds. I'm sure that will be interesting for me. But we are gonna try and be fairly prompt, because I do have to leave my house at 4 p.m. So gotta end before then. I gotta end maybe like 3:30, 3:45 my time, and it's currently almost 1 p.m. exactly my time. So we got about 3 hours to do it. So I'm kind of rushing because this does take a while. And then afterwards, if we finish before time is up, then we will have time to just chill out and do some fun random things, which I do have a couple of those planned. But before we can get to those, we need to do the Novus Project Detonation. Let's see. I do hope that Jason Red will drop by. And I might just see if I can pause for a second and message him on Reddit, because I do want to see if I can make him. I do want to try to explain to him some of the things that we're doing. And we're gonna go, let's see, I need to look up Mr. Red. What's his name? Let's see. Jason Red, here we go. See. Sorry, I'm just handling one thing real fast. Let's try to, because I want to explain to Jason how the 5 levels work on Astroneer, and I don't really care about bots. You can just get out of here. Thank you. Please don't come advertising in my chat, because that's not cool. On the other hand, if you are a long-time viewer, I will be happy to promote you. Let's see. Excuse me 1 second, I gotta sneeze. Hold on 1 second. I'm actually gonna go intermission real fast. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. We're gonna go back to game. There we go. This bomb is complete, so we're gonna take it over. I have managed to handle all the things that I need to handle. I'm terribly sorry about the unexpected intermission. But we are... Oh, there we go. We are done with that now. Be good for a little bit. Not gonna lock that because I want to be able to pick it up at the end, but thanks for the offer, Astronair. Alright, we're just gonna take these as fast as we can. We've been going for about 36 minutes, so we're actually doing pretty good on time management. Considering this is the 4th bomb. 8 that we need to make. Used to take me like 2 hours to do this, but I have gone a little bit faster at it. Which is good, because I don't want to just be waiting here all day. These things take a while to make, and then they take a lot less time to break. It's just annoying that I have to remake them all the time, but I mean, I understand, and I was hoping that this wouldn't happen, but it is what it is. I'm also farming up ridiculous amounts of titanium in case the update should happen to break something and I should end up with not enough titanium. Already got a ridiculous... Stop it, let me hit this, thank you. Already got a ridiculous amount of hydrazine. So I'm just looking to increase my amount of titanium, because I'm going to need a ton of titanium if I want to make this work. Increasing scrap and titanium and everything, just to allow for all possibilities. This is just the standard pre-update prep that I have to do, because you never know what an update will break, as is evidenced by the fact that I even have to do this. I really do not want to just have to give up this project simply because something the devs did screwed me over. The project got way more expensive and way harder because something the devs did screwed me over, but I don't want that to make the project downright impossible. There are a couple of ways in which this could be made impossible. I don't feel like they will be going, but you never know. Have to prepare. You know, semper fidelis, always be ready. Or not that. I don't remember what it's called, what the actual saying is. I think it. Semper something. My Latin is rusty, to say the least. Never liked Latin, but I did take it in high school. Kinda had to take it. We ended up with an extra silo. That's unusual. Put it back there. Let me make sure. Are these guys all carrying? Yes. You're all carrying all your stuff. I'm gonna check the other bomb that we just finished. I feel like I would have noticed if I had missed a silo. But rechecking is very important, because this is a very, very precise, despite the size, project. So I don't want to miss out on anything. Well, it appears we have all of our stuff. Let me just check these bombs real fast. Just checking to make sure they have all their silos there. I get a helicopter briefly. Just so I can check and make sure it has all of its silos. Because I don't want to end up with not putting the correct amount of hydrogen on these. My count is very important. Yeah, all the bombs we made today are not defective. Suppose that's good news. Doesn't help me figure out why I have an extra silo, but I guess it works. Wow, we really do not have a lot of titanium left on the planet. I'm gonna have to go grab some. In the meantime, we're going to be able to handle this next 2 bombs. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab some now. Right after all the titanium goes out of this one. Come on, let me grab the shuttle. Thank you. Alright, off we go back to Glacio. Because we need to grab more titanium to finish off this round. We go through about 2 large canisters every round, just under 2 large canisters. Not a whole ton under, but just under. And we're gonna go to Glacio to pick up canisters that we need. It's home. Got a whole bunch of titanium just waiting to come with us, so we're going to switch them out. We'll be using these of titanium to finish off this round and do the next one. And hopefully it's enough to hit the next round well, but if it's not, then we won't worry about it too much. Alright, back to Novus. There we go. Almost got trapped in that big bubble. That would have been annoying. Well, next launch we will be taking some more fuel on, which is good because next launch we'll be stopping by Visania. And Visania has an automatic refueling station. This planet does not. I tried to install one and it did not work. Reason why it didn't work, well, that's because it just couldn't actually handle the ability to like hand fuel off. It was constantly trying to fill up my bombs with fuel, which I don't need. I need only to fill up my rocket with fuel. So we had to get rid of it. Which is sad, but at least we have one on Visania. One on Visania works quite nicely. I do also hope the devs add mod support for this game, like official mod support, because they really need to. Because if they want ideas from their community, then they need to promote their community being able to give them those ideas. And in fact, that's often how game development companies spot out new potential hires, is prominent modders. Alright, and twirl around. And twirl around. Go. Now, all of these opinions are just my personal opinion. I probably am just shouting into the void here, but, you know, might as well. Then at least you have your opinions quantified, and you can think about them for when somebody does actually come by. But, you know, I do recognize that it is pretty much just shouting into the void, and there's probably not a whole lot that any of this will do for me. Wow, actually a little bit too high. There we go. Take all these. There we go, and twirl. Grab. Place. This is a chill beat. I like this beat. It's a nice beat. Alright, there we go. That silo's good. And we're gonna just take from this 6 tall stack and just use it to place on one side. No! Ah, I didn't mean to mess that up. Grabbed the wrong thing. Well, it was so pretty while it lasted. Well, these will be exactly enough to handle this side at least. Go. Alright, that is the next bomb done. Bomb number 5. And unpack. Okay. Need to hurry up though because we don't have all day. Do need to finish this detonation round. Are a little bit behind schedule, so we're gonna have to up the speed just a hair. Alright, and I'll grab you guys. There we go. Man, there's so much unpacking in this. There's a lot to unpack. What can I say? And this is the last bomb for this particular batch of titanium. Totally fine. Makes things nice and even, easy, fun. Doink. Doink. Just taking these from the back, because I don't want to get this side done. Oh, hey, Modern Bat. Been a while, man. There we go. I have been pretty good, just working on the Novus project. How are you been? How's life treating you? We got one more. Actually, we got one more silo after this. You doing all right? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. What's been going on with you? What kind of games you been playing? Safe Scissors 779. Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the community. We're just sitting here doing some unpacking for the Novus project, and yeah, pretty basic today. Yeah, I'm just taking these things and unpacking them. Yeah, Modern Bat, what kind of games have you been playing? And Mr. Scissors, what kind of games have you been playing, if you don't mind my asking? If you prefer to continue lurking, don't worry about it. I'll just let you continue lurking. Not been doing much, haven't really played anything new. Fair. Sometimes we don't always play games because we don't really have time. Have you been to Tax streams recently? I haven't been able to make a whole lot of her streams, which is sad. Why do I appear to be missing? Why do I appear to be missing some silos? The heck are they? Please tell me they didn't fall through the ground. Make slingshots on Astroneer? Oh, nice. Are you the guy from Reddit who is posting slingshots? Those are pretty interesting. Oh, darn. Of course, I have an uneven number of slots free. Gonna yoink those. I need 3 total more silos. You are the guy from Reddit? Nice. Do enjoy those slingshots. Those are definitely interesting uses of winches. Also, how you found me? Oh, cool. Well, thank you for checking me out. The biggest reason why I made that Reddit post is because I wanted to get Jason Red in here, because Jason Red, he's making a couple of mistakes that could make his transporting solar sails a lot easier, just based off of a fundamental misunderstanding of the game, which I've been doing a ton of research on, so I was trying to see if I could help him. But don't tell him I said that. Or on the well, I mean, you can, but I don't really care too much. So yeah, this is the Novus project, and we're just over here making the bombs because we have to make them and then place them. Both have 319. All right, cool. So, what do you what do you plan on using your slingshots for in Astroneer? What do you think like you could do as like a practical application for them? Because I think you were doing, if I recall correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were doing stuff in creative, right? But the nice thing about creative research is that it does help to improve our plays in adventure mode, which is obviously what I'm doing. And just to prove to chat that this save has never been switched over to creative mode, oh, I don't want to click that. Interplanetary travel, you and tactile object are working on that. I don't want to click it. Okay, yeah. Okay, phew. I was worried that it might actually enable it. So yeah, this has never been this save has never had a has never had creative enabled on it. So I really don't want to enable creative on this because I enjoy doing this in adventure mode. After we do this detonation round, if you don't mind sticking around, I do want to show you what I've discovered on interplanetary travel, because I've gotten interplanetary travel down to a science. Because it's honestly pretty easy when you think about it. There's just a couple of core tenets that people need to know. So far, the string theory has proven to be mostly correct. Glacio seems to be a bit strange, but I haven't entirely nailed down why it is strange yet. And so, as I'm sure you are aware, the reason why I'm making these is because I'm using hydrogen to explode Novus, and it needs to be an individual individual little nuggets for that to happen. Good news is this should be the last round of medium storage silos we need to print, and then we'll get to the fun part, which is the detonations. Just testing stuff, been following the planet chart, and we're aiming for Visanya. Yeah, what is this mystical planet chart that I've been hearing about that I've never been able to track down? Because I kind of want that. I mean, I have the order now in my head, but somebody needs to go through and like draw up a graphic of, okay, this planet is here, and like to just help new people get a feel for it, like I've gotten a feel for it with my manual testing. Yeah, we need to get like a proper model, get it pinned or something on the Astroneer Discord or Reddit or something, so that way people can kind of understand how things are going. Yeah, I just don't have any idea how to make something like that, or I would have made it myself already, because I know how the planets work. Yeah, earlier I was talking about my thoughts about how to address the difficulty situation in Astroneer. And Modern Bat, feel free to weigh in if you like. Scissors, you can weigh in if you want as well. So a lot of the community has a very legitimate complaint with Astroneer, myself included, that Astroneer is not hard enough, or hard at all, really. Astroneer does not present any significant challenge, in their efforts to make the game more accessible, they've kind of gone a little bit too far, to the point where now part of the audience is put off because it's too easy. And then my main issue is that I see a lot of Twitch streamers who could be awesome at the game and have a lot of fun. They'll just finish the game with the triangle and the gateways and everything, and then be done. Hello, old man the wise. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping by. My Twitch viewer count appears to be broken. Little widget on the stream. It's right about here-ish. That appears to be broken. So, doing good? Awesome. We are maybe half an hour to an hour away from the big detonations. Just getting into the concept of difficulty. And also, hold on. Old Man the Wise is a awesome, fantastic streamer, and he's a really great guy. You should go check out.
Terrible timing. No.
So,
that's not right.
What's going on? Is somebody obscured his screen?
Clip this so I can show Tactical Illusion what she's doing. What's up, Kinetic?
That's
Hey, do I have any mods in here that can give Kinetic a shout out, please?
But yeah, Old Man is an awesome streamer. Mostly plays World of Tanks. Gonna get batteries to be able to play. You're on Xbox? Okay, cool. Yeah, it is too easy, but I think I do understand where the devs are coming from, that they need to make the game more accessible for people who don't understand, who don't really, like casual players. And it can't be like World of Tanks, where there's just a super high difficulty curve, and you don't really get good until you played for a long time. Because Astroneer is definitely not that game. But I think that difficulty sliders are the correct answer to this, but there is an argument against them. The argument against them is to have them is that they offer too many options, which is understandable. How I would address those concerns is, say, do it how Kerbal Space Program did it, where they have just ran 5 ads. Holy cow, dude. I am so sorry for you. I wish I could do something about that. What on earth is wrong with Twitch? It used to be like 1 ad for 30 seconds. Then it was like an ad for... And then it was like maybe 2 ads, and we were like, Twitch! And now it's like 3 or 5, and it's crazy. Sorry about that, man. I honestly, I hate those. But if you subscribe, you don't get any ads. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not able to offer ad-free to followers, only subscribers, which is unfortunate. Anyway, the difficulty sliders would address the issue of Astroneer being way too easy. But the difficulty sliders, I can understand, could result in somebody having too many options and option paralysis. Mike D&D07, hello, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome into the community. Just having a little bit of chat about whether or not Astroneer is too easy and what can be done about it. So if you want to weigh in, please feel free to. Yeah, we're just chilling here, making some bombs, weapons of mass destruction, and yeah. It looks like we have looks like we're short on silos. Again. What on earth is going on? Hello, less bunny hops. I don't do bunny hops, okay? I have jetpacks. And you're hiding. Okay, one more, just one more, please. Oh, I see it. No, I see it. I see a hider. There we go. I do actually see one other hider who's gonna go over here. Two other hiders who's gonna go over here. Yeah, anyway. The difficulty sliders is what most people seem to think is the best solution. However, implementing them is not as easy as one might think. Stop sliding, for God's sake. Sometimes the hoverboard is a little bit annoying. It can come out when you're just trying to go straight up. That should be all the bombs for today, so we should be all good. The environmental catastrophes that break things and make explosives unstable. Environmental catastrophes is something that the community has kind of wanted. This game used to have storms, but storms got to be very annoying because they were they basically just turned into something where you were just sitting in your shuttle or sitting in your capsule or watching your camera spaz out, apparently. Sitting in your shuttle, sitting in your capsule, doing nothing, waiting for it to pass. And they're very, very scary and very, very hilariously fun for people who were originally starting out, but after a while they got to be really annoying. So, what that says to me is that something like that needs to be implemented again, just with different characteristics. There are two factors that it was missing before that it needs to have now. Give me a hydrazine. Come on. Thank you. The factors that it was missing before are that there was no way to give yourself an immunity to it, or eventually effectively conquer it and get rid of it. And that is something that kind of made them just annoying. There was nothing you could do about it, and you could die. No matter how advanced you were in the game, you would just die if you didn't get to cover. However, they did introduce a really good difficulty into the game. And I need to move these. These are all from cleanup, and they're just how I've been running my sorting system. But we're not using this for sorting, we're using this for staging right now. And then the second thing that they need is a benefit. For instance, we could take on Silva. Let's say the storms could be re-implemented, but they supercharge your wind turbines, and they supercharge whatever wind power you have and make it give like a 2 times benefit or something like that. And that would give like a purpose to wind power, because wind power would have like a huge reason to exist. But I do understand how that could be kind of difficult to implement, but they could could potentially uncover rare materials. That's a possibility. They could maybe bring some new things in. There's a whole debate around whether or not you should be able to have something called mob griefing, which is allowing environments to change the landscape aside from player input. Astroneer has taken a stance firmly on the side of no mob griefing, and I understand that because there's a lot of people who have really awesome delicate builds, and there is definitely a need to preserve those. However, it might like subtly add like a wreck or two, maybe at some point, but a decent tangible benefit would be just supercharging your wind power. You have the ability to turn it on or off. Yeah, that's mostly what I'm thinking. But then comes in, okay, well now we have too many options. Wait, did I did? Wow, I did. Apparently I did that so much I was subconscious. So here's my solution to that. I think they need to take the stance that Kerbal Space Program took. And what Kerbal Space Program did is they had several difficulties already. They had several like preset difficulties, easy, normal, hard, and like extra hard, and those adjusted those given difficulty sliders in certain ways to make the game easier or harder. But if you wanted to make a custom difficulty, then you could click for some more advanced options, and then you can customize to your heart's content within the bounds of the game. I think that's probably going to be the best solution to the problem, and I think that's a solution that doesn't really have any downsides because it simultaneously meets two needs that the devs have been worried about. One, having just like a couple of preset difficulties satisfies the sections of the community that really don't want to delve too deep into it. They just want to go in and have fun. And that's an important section of the community to satisfy. It also satisfies the people who want heavy customization, and they need to be satisfied as well because they are a large section of the community. I don't know why I'm dropping frames in game, but at least the bitrate is fine. And so far they have just been seeking to satisfy the casual section. Astroneer is a very casual game. There's little to no difficulty about it. That's just kind of how the game works. Be ready to switch this out as soon as this guy fills up. But the difficulty sliders would allow both demands to be met, and reasonably evenly too. So I think that's a fairly reasonable compromise between the two parties who enjoy the game. That's what unites us all. We all enjoy this game, and we all like to see people play it. And I know I enjoy watching Astroneer streams. I enjoy watching Old Man the Wise streams, but he doesn't play Astroneer because he thinks it's bunny hopping and bunny hopping only, which is his right to think so. And I'm definitely not just dabbing at Old Man because he's in chat. I don't know what you're talking about. But all that aside, I think that the idea, I know. I'm kidding too. That's my, I'm just joking around with you. I totally get that you're kidding around, and I honestly think it's actually hilarious because you're honestly pretty right about a lot of the Twitch streamers. When somebody gets in chat and somebody gets active, especially if they're in a multiplayer game where they don't need to directly do a whole ton of the work, they'll just walk around the base and just do something, or do like something tiny, or do nothing. And yeah, that's kind of just a Twitch streamer thing. Me, I already have boring tasks to do, so the people coming in helps alleviate those boring tasks, so I don't need to worry about just hopping around my base, because honestly, I have things that would be plenty boring without it, so I just use that as essentially my hopping. Because I don't really have to think too much about these tasks, because they're very basic. Done them a million times. Will do them a million times, and they just need to get done in order to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Yeah, I do think it's pretty fun. I do think your running joke about it is pretty funny, which is why I'm perpetuating it. Mentioning it, because I enjoy it. And yeah, if anybody else in chat feels like they want to weigh in this conversation, please feel free to. Um, I know I'm pretty much shouting into a void here as far as I'm fairly sure the devs aren't listening, and the devs aren't most likely are not going to tune into this stream because it's, again, we're a small community, small stream. But I do just kind of want to quantify where I and other people do stand. Because I think a discussion needs to be started. Because the devs always deflect when they're asked, and they always say we need to make sure that it's accessible to everyone. And I understand that, and it's a very, very valid thing to say. So I guess that saying that they're deflecting is not correct, because they're not really deflecting. This is just a valid concern that they have and a valid need that needs to be met. However, there's also another valid need that needs to be met, and that's the other half of the community that wants difficulty. So it's hard to balance those two, but I think that difficulty sliders with the custom options of saying, hey, we want an easy, we want a normal, we want a hard, and I mean, you could say that you could make this a normal, but honestly, this is pretty close to easy because I don't really know of any ways that you could make it a lot easier. So there's already pretty much no threats. There's already, and the plants are a little bit of a threat, but really only early game. I want to go to Visenya. But yeah, the plants are pretty much only a threat early game, and they don't really factor in late game like where I am. And we need something, as our powers scale, and our powers to protect what we have scale, we need something to protect it against. Maybe have something that can be maybe like a boss that you can spawn. Not like Astroneer is ever going to be like a combat game, but that whole thing where the players can spawn in something if they want extra challenge, like Terraria does, then they can do it. That really helps to add a bunch. Of, hey, if you just want to play and you just want to build yourself a house and do things, then you can have fun. You can go do whatever the heck you want, and nobody's going to fault you for that or make you feel bad about it. But if you want more difficulty, here's more difficulty. So Astroneer right now just has, well, if you just want to make a house, then here you go, and you're just going to be able to do all these cool things, and you don't need to worry about a whole lot. And there's a place for that, but it's gone a bit too far that direction, in my personal opinion. But things that you could do, as long as game discussions are great, as long as it doesn't turn to a toxic game / dev bashing. Yeah. And that's where you have to be very careful about what you say about the game and about the devs. Because while I do feel strongly that Astroneer must be more difficult in order to retain a solid player base, I don't necessarily think that the devs should go shove it. Because the devs have a very valid point that the game needs to be accessible to people who don't necessarily have all of the skills and all of the gaming skills that we have. People who are brand new to game, where Astroneer is their first game they ever play, we want them to be able to have fun too. And that's very, very valid. And if you don't want to respect that, then your opinion is not worth respecting in the community. Because you have to understand where the devs are coming from first and foremost, because we need to respect that it's their game. But at the end of the day, the devs do have an obligation to provide the community with not necessarily content, but with a decent, well-rounded experience, because that's what their stated goal is. Their stated goal is a decent, well-rounded experience, and right now it's not either of those. It's a really great game, and it's really fun, but not well-rounded. The only real big challenge that I've had are challenges that I've made myself, and that's the thing that they're like, okay, if you most of the devs will say, okay, if you want to have a challenge, you can make yourself a challenge. Like, for example, my challenge to myself is I'm going to destroy this planet, and it's a big challenge, and it's difficult, and it's taking a while. But then the people who will make themselves challenges are a very small minority. And so by saying you can just make yourself a challenge, well, the people who want a challenge but don't necessarily think that they should have to put in the work to make a challenge for themselves are just going to go play a different game. And so you lose that aspect of the market. You want to have people who are continuing to play, continuing to buy things in the shop to support the devs. You want to have a dedicated player base. Or not being able to mine with a mining machine thingy. Or not being able to I'm confused. I don't really understand. Are you talking about in Astroneer? Because if that, then that might be just an Orin thing. Because, he's Orin. Which is why I would love him. I think you're probably talking about the auto extractor. Which is not super difficult to use, but send Orin my way. I'll be happy to tell him how to use it and help him figure it out. He's made his own challenge. Oh, that's his challenge. Okay, so Orin's doing the no dig challenge. Right. Okay, I thought you were saying that Orin was trying to use like the auto extractor and was unable to. That's a little bit of a different beast. But yeah, a lot of people will make their own challenge because they love the game so much. But you can't rely on that because there's a substantial amount that when they want a challenge, they'll just go play a game that does offer a challenge. Right now, Astroneer is not one of those things. Made his own challenge? Yeah, I have seen that. I have seen the no terrain tool challenge. It's really interesting, and not my cup of tea, because I like terrain. I like digging out, as you can tell by the substantial portion of the planet that's missing. But the no terrain tool challenge is definitely very fun. But it's not, but that's not the majority of the community that wants challenges. The majority of the community that wants challenges is not going to just make their own. And it's not a fair expectation to expect them to make their own. Because people will make their own challenges whether you have challenges in the game or not. It is nice to give people something to compete over, though. Like, have an in-game challenge, and then people can compete over who does it the best, or who does it the fastest. That type of stuff. So, in order to create an in-game challenge, you need things like difficulty sliders, and you need things like, the ability to change your game experience just even partway through. And if anybody wants to share in their opinion in chat, please feel free to do so. This is just my opinion. This is not fact. This is not like a huge expert on the game. I know a thing or two about the game, but I'm not a huge expert. So I'm more than happy to accept somebody coming in with superior knowledge. But in the meantime, this is just my thoughts. So, the basic concept behind giving people the ability to change the difficulty is that it satisfies everyone. The presets satisfy the people who want to just be able to pick a difficulty and then go. And if you want this to be the main experience of Astroneer, just set this as normal difficulty. Even though I really don't get quite what you would do to make things easier. And then just include like a sentence or two about how, okay, this makes this easier or harder along these lines. And some examples of difficulty sliders you could add are things like you could add like resource multipliers. They've already done that with the auto extractor. There's a resource multiplier 15 times on that, so they could like do resource multipliers of the terrain gun and auto extractor at the same time, and just have the auto extractor be at a higher level. So those basic resource multipliers. Oh darn it! I didn't need to do a switch out, but I did. Okay, I think we're all consolidated. Yes, we are. Alright, I'm gonna put this over here and then put this in the middle. Yeah, it's important for the devs to do their best to meet the majority of the community. Nobody expects them to meet the demands of everyone, but it's good for them to try their best to meet the demands of most people. And previously, Astroneer was somewhat difficult, unbalanced, and annoying, and I'll give them that. But to the point where now it's gotten to be too easy to where it's annoying. So yeah. That's just my thoughts on it. We're gonna be finishing up the transfer, and then we'll be heading over to do some actual explosions, which is the fun part of the stream. And who knows, we might go on an interplanetary rover expedition or something. Yeah, the no terrain challenge is the no terrain tool challenge is an excellent idea as well. It is highly dependent on RNG, and that really does suck, because the RNG of the cave carvers, because you don't always know if you're going to actually get something to the cave, and get something to get a cave that's gonna hit the core. So that can be very frustrating and a long search. But hey, if Oren likes it, more power to him. I myself don't really care for RNG-based challenges because I find them frustrating. But that is, again, a just me thing. This should fill up all of these, and then we should be able to take this bomb. Have a little bit left over. After this, we should have 3 left over, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, we have three silos left over. Yeah, as you can tell by some of them have 15, some of them have more, some of them have less. This is all working out quite nicely, and all proceeding according to plan. So the reason why I'm doing this in bombs is because you can place these platforms on any surface. They're spider platforms. They can go anywhere and stick to anything, and you can just place them wherever the heck you want. They will stick to it. So that's really helpful when I need to blow up a wall or something. And I don't really have the ability to just place a bunch of TNT, because TNT is expensive and I don't want to place like billions and billions of TNT. So far we've used over 300,000 of these little 5x hydrogen things. And 300,000 is a lot. That would be 300,000 TNT if it was the case. And so that 300,000 TNT That will be 600,000 carbon, which is a ton of organic, and you can't get organic really in massive quantities in any capacity besides soil. So soil is a bit of a pain to gather. I would know, as I've gathered massive amounts of it myself. So hydrogen is the most efficient way to handle it, especially because of the lucky fact that I didn't know when I first started out, that Visania has the highest concentration of hydrogen in the solar system. So that lucky coincidence means that we only have to worry about Novus and its mother planet. These are all the outputs are disabled, and we should be going. Yeah, what Orin does is really great, and it's really interesting because it exploits some methods of, what are we looking at? Oh, that's the top of the shuttle. Exploits some methods of the game that aren't usually known. For instance, I watched a no terrain challenge on YouTube, and I was like, okay, this is a little bit strange, but it was actually really cool, and I actually learned something from it. I learned that the controller can reach through and grab things through terrain because of that little auto snap feature it has, which is actually really nice and handy for when I'm trying to get tier 2 items out of the middle of the core where they're hidden in terrain. So we'll only need to do one switch out. And that's all the switching out we'll need to do. For this bit, anyway. For this batch. Yes, Dixper is also enabled. Old Man the Wise, I know you love doing that stuff. If you give us about a half hour more, we'll be ready to detonate. Maybe like 15 minutes. Half an hour is a little bit generous. I don't really, not gonna end up using that full half hour. But once we get doing the detonations, then Dixper is suddenly very popular because people get to kill me. When I'm flying out over that massive crater with no land near in sight, taking away my jetpacks is very popular. And of course, that's what Dixper is all about. I do need to actually go through, which reminds me, I need to go edit the Astroneer collection real fast and make the TNT one public again. So the TNT, what I'm talking about is in Dixper I have a card that sets off my TNT early. Now I normally keep that disabled because setting off my TNT early is something that is only applicable to when I'm doing the Novus project. And for instance, when I am have to run Best of Luck, okay, well thank you very much for dropping by, old man. It's always awesome to see you, and I really appreciate your insight and thoughts. And also tell Oren I said hi, just in case I'm not able to drop by his stream in the next couple days. Yeah, I love you guys, and I really appreciate everybody, especially you, for dropping by. It means a lot to have you around, because I think you're doing a great job as streaming, and you're really entertaining. So, and also, if you are not already following Old Man and you are in chat, you should go follow him, because he has some really funny content. And I don't even like World of Tanks. I'm probably never gonna play it. I said probably because never's a long time. Brandon! Dude's rating with a party of 12. Wow. Welcome, guys. Welcome, J-Bos. Welcome, Warfrat. Welcome, Stackman. Welcome, Vainglorious Gaming, as always. Tactile Object, we were just talking about you. Welcome, everybody. Thanks a bunch for dropping by. If you give me a chance to land, we'll get things sorted out. Let's see. Okay. Let me do a quick little shout out. Let's see what you were doing. I think Vainglorious Ride. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Well done.
Oh, you were playing Astroneer, huh?
I still remember the first time I came.
Oh, wait, you were playing the beta of the Astroneer update. Wait, there's a beta of the Astroneer update out. What? Yeah, Marbles on stream is fun. I love Marbles on stream. Wait, so there's a beta to the update out. That's interesting. Are you able to say anything about that? Because I'm interested. I mean, you guys actually caught us at the right time because we're getting pretty close to being ready to do the actual detonations and the big explosions that everyone knows my channel for. So we have 6 out of 8 bombs done. So we're very nearly done. And I'm for some reason losing tons of frames, even though my bitrate is fine. I always managed to drop in just before the boom. Heck yeah. Brandon has the best timing out of all of the streamers. But are you able to tell me anything about the update? Like, does it break anything that you're aware of, or does it fix some things that are annoying? Impeccable timing. Boom. Yeah. And thank you everybody so much for dropping by. I really appreciate it. It does indeed make performance better. I have been, and Brandon, actually, you'll be interested to know all this. All of these guys right here are the reason why my performance is actually super decent for, and I know it's not reflecting that right now because my frame rate's low. It's actually super decent for the massive crater that I have. And through the trade platform lets you... I would like it if you told me, but if you're not allowed to, I completely understand. My bet is that you'll be able to craft exochips with Astronium. If not this update, then it's some update in the future. But that's just my personal bet. But all of those resources are from the Novus project, and so I've actually gotten it to... you can't craft them? Not yet? Darn. That's unfortunate, but, you know. Joe did say that that was coming. Guaranteed for sure at some point in the future. So I'm just having you can trade Asternium for exochips, among other things. Interesting. I got a bunch of Asternium lying around at Glacio, so might as well. That's interesting though. Oh, sorry about the bot, guys. There's not a whole lot I can do about him, but I can ban him. And let's be honest, banning the bot doesn't actually do anything, but it makes me feel good. So that's mostly why I do it. And also, I don't want anybody going to that link just in case they get a virus. You know what? I need to make big follows as a word, something on Nightbot that it flags. It does indeed feel very good. I love it. Well, that just appeared out of nowhere. So, does the trade platform still work based off of scrap? Because, and I'll have to drop by. It does still work based off of scrap. Interesting. Okay. It automatically loads and unloads itself too. Wow, interesting. So let me show you. I'm gonna pause for a second and drop by Glacio because I did just recently make a scrap trading setup. Quality of life for the win. Yeah. Now they just need to make the hydrazine thruster load and unload themselves, so that way we can have just a little bit of a hydrazine canister right in there. Quality of life updates are nice. We were just talking about things like difficulty and how Astroneer could address the problem of not being difficult enough. Anyway, so I'm not going to unload all that. So this is what I've got right now for the trade platform. So basically scrap goes in here, and then these auto arms will load scrap directly onto there. and these auto arms will unload it. And right now I just trade scrap for ammonium because I'm making ridiculous amounts of fuel and I'm using ridiculous amounts of fuel. So yeah, I've got about 5,000 hydrazine right there, and I got about 1,000 to 2,000 right there. So I make ridiculous amounts of fuel and go through ridiculous amounts of fuel, and yeah. So, but that system is very janky, and it always makes me a little bit nervous that sometimes there'll be like a resource explosion when the thing doesn't actually cooperate like you think it will. We're gonna head off directly to Novus. And here we are. I can't really show you guys the progress of the Novus project because it's during the day, but we're somewhere between a third and a half of the planet done. But yeah, once you give Novus a few seconds to load in, then it's all good usually. So anyway, Brandon, how was your stream? How are you guys enjoying the update beta? And I'm surprised also that they let the update beta show off stuff. Big project? Yeah, big project indeed. I'm surprised that they actually like let something like that go out just even a few days before the release, because they do try to be like pretty tight apart from the leaks that that Joe provides. Great stream, had fun competing in the farm event. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to hear what the farm event is, but I guess I'll find out in a day or two when they push the update. The update is today. I heard it was Wednesday. Interesting. In that case, we might end up going down for Astroneer a second. The update is out now. Interesting. I might end up going down. Yeah, my Steam does in fact say that there is an update queued, so interesting. I might end up going down for a few minutes after we finish this detonation round, and then we'll check out the update. But we want to get this detonation round done. I do also think some of the frame loss is coming from these things. Just the fact that I have a billion of them flying around. And then this will be bomb number 8 and the last bomb. But that's cool. I thought you said, although, Brandon, I thought you said that that you were trying out like a beta of the update or something. I'm not entirely sure what you mean there then. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be interested in checking out the farm event. That's just something that's really nice and fun. No. I yoink these over here. Update just dropped a few minutes ago. Ah, nice. So maybe so the beta was like maybe released an hour before or something? Is that what this was? Like the beta released an hour or two just to let some streamers get a hold of it? I guess that would make sense. No, I think the update just dropped a few minutes ago. Dropped a disgusting number of minutes ago. But on the beta, yes, you're playing the beta version because the update wasn't out when you started streaming. SES have a few people who test betas, and we have an embargo on when we can do videos and streams. Ah, that makes sense. And that a large portion of that is why I don't ever participate in betas, because despite wanting to see the new content, I don't want to have to sign something about, oh, you can only stream about, you can only say something about this, you can only say something about that, because knowing something is great, but me, I like to share stuff with my audience on Twitch and everything. I don't want to I don't want to have to hide things like that from my audience on Twitch, and that's just how I prefer. Yeah, NDA. I don't want to do an NDA for a game. And that's just how me works. It's just a me thing. It doesn't have to be for everybody. But yeah, that's just how I like to do things. Yeah, there is an NDA. Yeah. I've not been really satisfied. I was invited to partake in the beta for for another game called Crash Drive 2, which I was a very active member in. I don't really play a whole lot right now. I'll probably pick it up at some point, but I was asked by the devs specifically to participate in the beta, just because I knew so much about the game, but I did not end up accepting that offer because I didn't want to sign the NDA. So, me and NDAs don't really like each other. I do have to sign an NDA for my work, but that's a little bit different. Just so I don't reveal proprietary company information and all that. All that lovely business. Yeah, I don't like seeing games like that as a business transaction for me. It just makes it less fun. Even though I do like seeing all the cool new stuff that's coming out. I enjoy having a voice, even though most of the time I am just shouting into a void. Because let's be honest, the devs don't tune into my stream that much. I keep an eye on who's generally watching my streams, and there's only been like 1 or 2 times when like a dev has randomly tuned into my stream, which is totally understandable. And I'm not saying that they're bad for doing that. I'm just saying this is just what happens. I don't understand how they have time to even watch any streams at all with their schedule, because they are really, really super busy with all this maintenance. Like, the testing and feedback feels like you're helping make it better. Yeah, I feel like I understand where that point of view comes from, and I kind of share that. I just feel like it's possible to do that without being in the beta. But again, that's just a personal thing. But yeah, the testing and feedback does really help. But also, feedback comes from when you're just doing it. When you're just doing it. Lost my train of thought. When you're doing it in the public releases. There we go. Sometimes I just completely lose my train of thought. And I just forget what I'm saying entirely. And this is the last batch of hydrogen that we have to haul. We'll be working on that side of the crater today. And I haven't done like a ton of cleanup. I've done a decent amount of cleanup. Enough to make sure that the frames will be fine for this stream. But, I mean, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But yeah, this is bomb number 8. Then we'll just finish unloading these guys, load them back in the shuttle, and we don't even have to take the shuttle back. Our feedback is before it releases, so we get to help fix bugs so players never see them. Yeah. Me, I prefer to find bugs that affect the players as they get released, and pretty good at finding things and breaking the game. As I've now turned rocket rovers into a reliable method of transportation, albeit not efficient at all. Not even remotely close to efficient, but that's why I have a billion hydrazine back at my base. And if anybody sets off a TNT in my base, I will have a fit. In fact, this fuel depot right here is mostly for my jetpacks, but there was one time when I accidentally set off a bomb too close to base, and I set off the fuel depot, and I came back and my base was a miniature of the Novus project, and that was not good. I had to revert to the last backup, which was fortunately very recent because I back up right before every single detonation round, just in case something goes wrong in the detonation round, and just in case something crashes, then I have something to go back to. Saved me a couple of times, where the save would have been corrupted if I hadn't gone back and taken action to prevent the crashes that did happen. So, it has saved me a couple of times, and it's really helpful. And speaking of which, we're going to do it right now. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna duplicate. Before big boom number 35. Because today is detonation round 35. And it's gonna freeze one more time, and then we'll see the actual save file get duplicated. And freeze, and unfreeze. Wait a second. Better backups that you don't need than needing one you don't have. Exactly. That's like, I have a couple mottos in life. One is be generous with your compliments and even more generous with your cheese. Another one is the other one that I like to go by is better to have and not need than need and not have. That's pretty much what I like to live by. I need to drop off some fuel because I need to have some space in my backpack for the actual TNT. So for those of you who are new here to this stream, I need to drop off one more hydrazine because I like things to be nice and even. How I do things is I have these massive bombs of hydrogen, and I'm gonna take a TNT and take a single solitary piece of TNT. Hello. Glitches. Speaking of glitches, anyway, grew up on Sierra Dust games, always have lots of saves. Yeah. Also, the reason why I've continued to make them, even though I have a very reliable method of doing everything, and I'm gonna go save in my shuttle real fast. But another reason why is because after this project goes, then I'm gonna be able to go back through every single detonation round, and then actually see the progress unfold, and I'll be able to do a duplicate of each save in creative mode and go around with the creative camera, and then we can create something like a time lapse or something of the crater growing and taking over the planet. But yeah, we've got our TNT, we've got our bomb. We're gonna head off to the other side of the crater. And by the way, Dixper is enabled for those of you who are sadists. Time for you to head out. Thanks, Stu. Have a great stream. Alright, well, thank you very much for dropping by, and thank you very much for the raid. And again, if you are in my chat and you are not following Brandon, you need to be following him, because if you want reliably good Astroneer content, he's your guy. Time-lapse to No More Planet? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's very difficult to get a wide enough shot now of the actual crater. And it's very difficult to have the entire thing load in all at once, because now this edge is far enough away where it doesn't actually want to render. Which I completely understand, because it's literally on the other side of the planet. And so we're going to place the bomb here. Place the dynamite next to it, hold right click, and run like the devil's after us. And then detonate when we're far away. Have a great stream. Need to sleep? Alright, cool. Oh, heck yeah. That's a nice start. Nice start to this detonation round, and all kinds of lag. While things fall down, we're going to lose frames. Thank you very much for dropping by, Dynamy. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going to say Dynamy. But thank you very much for dropping by. Much appreciated. I hope to see you again sometime soon. But yeah, that was a nice detonation. The update does have the nice side effect of I don't have to carry the bomb back, but also I don't get to carry the bomb back. It's gone. It's a nice side effect. And what I'm talking about is the latest hotfix. Latest hotfix before the update, where things just completely disintegrated if you set them off. And so yeah, now they disintegrate into scrap, and I can't keep my toys. I have to make my toys and then use them. Ow! Holy cow, that was a lot of fall damage for just nothing. Fall damage with the hoverboard, y'all. Dynamistic, kind of like dynamite. I was kind of thinking that. I mean, that's kind of appropriate for him to be tuned into this stream, you know? I just got this glitch 2 times in a row. What on earth is going on? Maybe it's because I'm getting dynamite that's attached to something and I'm shift clicking it into my backpack. That might have something to do with it. But yeah, and then kind of wonder if it stops being a crater once the planet, once it consumes over half the planet, because then arguably there's less planet than there is crater, and it's kind of interesting. But on the topic of difficulty, since you guys are here and we have a lot of Astroneer greats in the chat, deployed ones can be wonky. Yeah, I found that there's actually a difference between spawned TNT, like TNT that spawns in the natural world, and TNT that's made by the player. TNT that spawned in the natural world, as of the current version that I'm running, it does not actually allow for the the functionality of destroying multiples at once. And hopefully they fix that. Multiple like exo caches at once. And I hope they fixed it. It should be a fairly easy fix. But yeah. Dynamite's a bit wonky, but you know, I love it. Anyway, I wanted to get your opinions on, first off, that explosion, because, man, that was a nice explosion. But mostly I wanted to get your opinions on the difficulty discussion we were having earlier surrounding this game. In my opinion, and in many people's opinions, this game is no longer a challenging game. It does not provide a fun, challenging experience to a lot of players who want it. The devs' response to this has largely been a response just because the save is old, new save will be full of new dynamite. No, I'm not talking. I have not touched the dynamite that spawned in because I don't need to. I'm talking streamers who are new to the game, who are creating new saves, who are not able to detonate, who place the TNT place generated TNT next to something and either are not able to set it off or have it blow up and not have the thing blow up, as opposed to when they that is a glitch, definitely, as opposed to when they make TNT and set it off next to it, then it works. So that's not something that I have personally experienced, but I've seen several Twitch streams that have gone through that glitch. So no, that has nothing to do with the age of my save, because I have not explored that in my save. Yes, there are several things that are unique about the save because it is so old, and in my opinion make it more valuable. Things like duplicated gateways, things like I think I've seen like a couple of other strange things with terrain happen that are really fun, like my the terrain in my base, around my base gateway, looks like a throne from Game of Thrones or something, and it's really cool. Anyway, conversation around difficulty. Largely the devs' response has been, and I'm not saying this is unreasonable, spawn dynamite must not be fully recognized by the game. That seems to be what I'm thinking. I don't know if they fixed it or not, we'll see. I'm obviously not really able to test it in my save, again because of the age of my save. Holy cow, lag. Holy lag. Oh my gosh. Lag is terrible today. Novus, why are you so laggy? I clean you up and everything. Anyway, the discussion around difficulty is an interesting one, because the devs have a very logical and understandable response to difficulty. When they changed wreckages, that was a thing. You couldn't pick up old wreckage till you packed and unpack it to make it a new one. Yeah. English, please. I still do have some wreckages and stuff that I can't interact with, but that's just because of the Novus project taking away the ground. Hello, Laterite. And also this debris is floating because things get cemented after a while of not having any terrain. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm going to go over to, I'm gonna implement the new method that I have of dealing with large bits of terrain that I would normally have to get rid of with the terrain tool. Yeah, there's definitely been things where a good example of that is the am I even headed the right direction? I'm not. This is why the compass is useful, because it helps me navigate this big old crater. And a good example was when they added the soil canisters. They were originally 24 soil, and then never found Astroneer very difficult. It's always been a game you could just go more slowly on and carefully to make sure you don't die. Exactly. It's never been a difficult game, and it doesn't need to be a difficult game, but it's very easy to point out how it's way too easy right now. Also, if somebody wants to clip this and send it to Gina, I have noticed that when I yoink this TNT that's attached to a silo, it's attached to an object, it doesn't show up in my inventory, but then if I click it, boom, magically shows up. Kind of interesting. Maybe send that to somebody if you guys want to clip it. If you don't want to clip it, don't worry about it. But yeah, it's fairly clear to a lot of people that the game does not have any standard of difficulty, which is a bit of a problem. And the devs' response has always been that we want to make Astroneer a very accessible game, accessible to everyone. Like few resources, higher byte costs. Yeah, I think that difficulty sliders would be an excellent idea to put in the game. But then of course there's the counter argument to difficulty sliders, well, we don't want to give them too many options, because option paralysis is a real and studied effect. As somebody who works in sales, I kind of know that. You can't give somebody too many options, or they're just going to be like, yeah, I don't know. And so we need to be careful. However, there is a solution to that. And the solution is actually something that Kerbal Space Program has done. And if any of you guys have played Kerbal Space Program, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that is Kerbal Space Program. Wait a second, I didn't mean to grab this. I was going to grab the... Alright. Me getting distracted is definitely a real thing. Official response difficulty... Oh, hello, Adam. How are you doing? As if you want the game to be harder, try playing on the steering wheel. That's good. That's a good response, dude. I like that. But Kerbal Space Program... I mean, I guess it's good that you're in here. But Kerbal Space Program has actually come up with an amazing solution to the discussion of, well, if you want more difficulty sliders, but you also want to have the user friendliness, then what they did is they gave you a couple of custom presets. Oh crap! I killed myself. Oh, apparently I killed myself. All right, cool. I didn't get far enough away from the explosion, and I set off my own jetpacks. Let me get these jetpacks that have been lying around here. I think a lot of the updates that they made are very good, and they do have a definite point about this game needs to be accessible. But the idea of preset difficulties, like you can make this difficulty normal difficulty, and then have, if you want, a button that unlocks advanced options that... Stop laughing at my death, punk. A difficulty slider like a button that allows you to unlock additional sliders, and that meets both needs of people who want to just have it be on, who want to just have the accessibility. They just want to have some fun on a cool game. They don't want to worry too much about having a billion things to adjust. Like, I think Satisfactory does something like that. Where is my body? There's my body. They don't want to have like a million things to adjust. Laughing with my... sure. I see how it is, chat. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But the difficulty discussion is a difficult discussion, and I totally get where the devs come from on it. But that solution of, here's some buttons to unlock more to like give you more options if you want, like advanced settings, is really a good solution to help fix all of those issues. Much love to SCS. Indeed, much love to SCS. This is really a really awesome game, and I think that this, even with all of the flaws, that I see this game having, this game is still an absolutely amazing game that I would recommend to a whole ton of people. It does a very good job in targeting the audience that it is trying to hit. But there is definitely something to be said for if you want to increase your business, you should try to, please the majority of your audience. Flaws? Excuse me, game is perfect. Hey, every game has flaws. Everything in this world has flaws. Anybody who says otherwise is selling something, and I should know. I work in sales. And the flaws are just part of who we are. And some of the flaws are definitely interesting, like that TNT glitch that we just found. Definitely interesting. Add some more fun to the game. Just need those lightless lights. I mean, the lights are kind of dim as they are, though. Also, somebody needs to do something about the smog on Novus, because holy cow. Maybe a difficulty slider will be in Astroneer too. Yeah, trying to sell the game, the perfect game of Astroneer available for $34.95. I thought it was available for $29.99. In other news, I went the wrong direction for my base. I mean, I don't think Astroneer needs a sequel, frankly. I think it's really a great game as it is. You're in Canada? Ah. Makes sense. I'm in the US. I'm a US-based streamer. I enjoy playing around with US-based stuff. I don't really know all the different currencies and everything, so all the currencies that I talk about will be US dollars because I really don't know other currencies. Yeah, for example, like, so here, Adam, if you think this game is perfect, then explain to me why when I click this dynamite that was attached to an object, it suddenly doesn't show up in my backpack, and then when I hover over this slot and click, oh, now it's magically right there. Explain to me that, huh? Perfect game, I see. Perfect game. Anyway, I'm just bantering back and forth. I really think this game is... There's not, you'll never have a game that's perfect, but you can strive to a standard of excellence. And I think the devs have upheld the standard of excellence to, well, an excellent degree. So, much respect for the devs there. Oh, it does that because your PC camera. Dude, Adam, you're hilarious. I like you. Lightless lights are for display boards like your signs or Astro Invader's display nodule, like a floodlight that can have surface change color but not cast light on the environment, which means no lag and bigger builds. Yeah, the lag is definitely an issue, but can be managed. I myself love things like optimization because, in case you haven't noticed, I like large scale builds, large scale projects, large scale everything, and so the less lag I have to deal with, the better. And I have a fairly beefy PC, and I've actually done a substantial amount to make sure that the lag that I have to deal with is very, very low. It still is present because there's still just a ton to render, and my save file is like almost 100 megabytes at this point. Doing another Astroneer game, new immersive sim dating game. Oh, interesting. That's definitely dating out. So here's a question. Dating which plant? Because obviously it'll be dating the snail, because obvious reasons. Like, there's no scenario under which you would not want to date that snail. Like, that's an adorable little snail right there. Marry PJ. I mean, if you want to marry PJ, I guess. Although I thought PJ was taken. I don't know if he is or not. To be honest, with so many objects rendered, and I'm impressed the game even runs with something like what you're doing. Well, there's some very, very good reasons for how I've made this game able to render things like that. And it has difficulties with big explosions like that. But for instance, getting rid of all of the objects, like all of these little objects right here, they're physics objects. The game has to calculate physics for them, and massive lag spikes result. Would like an Astroneer 2, would like to see where that last cutscene portal leads. I think that could be a DLC for this game, honestly. That's just asking for DLC. DLC would be a great... For instance, Kerbal Space Program, a game that I have absolutely loved, defined my childhood. Kerbal Space Program used DLC to add new features that were massively requested by the fans, but were considered too big to be added in like a game update. So something like more planets or something would be an excellent thing to add in DLC. So I think that could be added in a DLC. Portal leads to Denny's in Nebraska. Why not a Jack in the Box, huh? Or why not like a Red Robin? Also, this crater is so massive that when I'm in the middle, I can't see any other side. The Astroneer is having a Grand Slam and apple juice. Finn. Nice. I mean, you know, that some people would say he's just living his life, living his best life out there. Whoopsies. Resolution is tasty. Official game lore, guys. Official game lore. We have the new official game lore. The Astroneer just went to a Denny's in Nebraska and is now just chilling. You know, mission completed and everything. And spoilers, in case you haven't actually finished the game. But I view this game as similar to Minecraft, and it could benefit from some of the similar decisions. Anyway, for letting me come and chat, thanks for letting me come and chat and shitpost. Back to work. Noah's project going great so far. It's going awesome. Thank you very much for dropping by. I really appreciate having you in chat and just hanging out. It's always fun to have new friends. And I do also want to say a thank you to